Okay, here I am to show you some stretching exercises this time. Now, you'll remember on my first videotape that I did, I was showing you this basic stretching exercise I called pulling taffy. And someone suggested I should be sitting at a sewing machine, which was a very true statement. So I'm showing that you can do this in a seated position very easily. So I want to add a second stretching exercise to that you can do. And so we start again in good posture, as I told you in another video, hips rolled forward, and I take a couple of deep breaths. Remember, when I'm taking these breaths, I can put my hands here, because when I exhale, my belly should go out, and you'll feel that. This is also this idea of centering that I'm going to talk to you about in another video eventually. So I take a couple of breaths. I've been sewing, okay, maybe got into a bad posture, but I'm going to change my thread or something, and it's an opportunity to stop. Take those breaths. Then I can do the pulling the taffy stretch that I told you about, and then a second one that is stretching your lung, massaging your lungs and your heart. And this one, I like to go at an angle to my sewing machine for. I can still be seated, but I'm going to bring one arm back, one arm forward. And this is pushing against the wall. I can look in the direction of the arm that is going back. So it's very, very simple to do this. It's another neat stretch that you can do. If you do that, to do the two of them together, I find if I'm seated a little bit forward, I don't want to be way back here for this exercise, because otherwise my elbow will hit. So come forward if you were seated towards the back of your chair, and then you'll have the room for your elbow to go back. You can use anchors. The idea of an anchor, which is something that you do all the time. So maybe when you go to change some thread when you're sewing, go to take some thread out and put it up here. Develop the habit of doing these different exercises. What you're doing is, before you get that muscle fatigue, you're relaxing your body, and when you do these exercises, I suggested that taking some deep breaths, then you're also regaining center, and that's that point where you're going to have more awareness and more ability to focus. So you're bringing yourself back to that place while you're sewing, even before it's a problem. And by all means, if you make a mistake, you do something you wish you hadn't, this is the time. Before you go to correct it, rip it out, whatever you have to do, change the needle plate. I have to do that all the time because I put a narrow one in and now I'm back with a 9 width stitch. You want to take that moment to go and do some of these exercises. Get that tension out so that when you go to correct it, it'll be easier, and the quality of your sewing will improve. And remember, we also can do these when we're at a computer. They work absolutely equally well there. So you can increase your productivity and the quality of your experience. Thank you very much. That's it for this time. I'll be back again.